Hi, my name's Lisa. I'm 31 and I'm from County Tyrone. I'm married to Christopher and we have two girls together, Grace, who's 2 years old, and Beth, who is 1 year old, and I am a primary school teacher. I met Christopher, I was in university. I was in my second year at university in Belfast. Christopher, I think he was in his final year, and we met each other through mutual friends. He was playing for Tyrone at the time, and I was living with some boys that had played for Tyrone, and we met each other out one night really randomly. I wasn't even supposed to go out that night, I don't think, and yeah, that was our first time meeting. I actually remember even what I was wearing that night. You know, I remember our first conversation. We got engaged in 2010. We got engaged that Christmas at home, and we set our date within the week to get married in Easter 2013. So it was Easter Tuesday, it was the 2nd of April 2013, and we got married in a hotel actually really close to home. And do you know what I remember about that day? I remember first of all the music ending. I was like, oh, Christopher, that's it, our wedding day is over. I can't believe it, because we had Christopher, he actually said, you know what, I wouldn't even do it all again because everything was perfect. And it really was. And so many people we talked to, everybody said, oh, we had the best day's crack at your wedding. It was really just such a lovely, lovely day for everybody. I remember in Daddy's wedding speech him saying, you know, and if Lisa and Christopher are blessed to have children, that they'll be the luckiest children with. You know, with me and Christopher's parents, and I think that sticks out because it was always something me and Christopher wanted. So, I mean, things didn't happen as quick as we wanted, and we were probably nearly 3 years married whenever we found out that I was pregnant with Grace. So a family was from day dot definitely what we had wanted, especially with us being teachers. You know, we were pursuing a career, working with children. Yeah, for us, we used to say, like, it was all about the simple things in life. And that maybe sounds wrong because so many people can't have children, but we just wanted the things that everybody wants, you know, to be married, to have each other, and to have our children. And yeah, from day dot, we had Grace then in July 2016. And then really unexpectedly, because we had, you know, waited so long for Grace, and whenever Grace was 3 months old, I was pregnant again with Beth. You know, I think one of the things, if you knew Christopher, and anybody that does or did know him, he was such a fun person, you know, and he was a primary school teacher and a vice principal, and the parents, any parents of the children in his class just always commented on how much fun he was and how much energy he had, and everybody just loved to be around him. And he was exactly the same as a daddy. You know, he was the playful one, and he had them down in the ground and playing with the toys and lifting them and swinging them and singing songs to them. He was so hands-on. He just lived for his girls. And it's funny now that so many people write to me and they'll say, I met Christopher, and of course, I only met Christopher briefly through work, and all he talked about was his girls, including me, and I get that so often because it was just his pride and joy. We all were, and it's like now whenever people tell me, I'd be like, I know. You know, it doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me that Christopher sat and talked about us so much, or that he referred to us as his three princesses, because he showed it to us all the time. So yeah, Christopher, him passing away was very sudden, and it was very, very unexpected. And I think the thing that people don't realise, especially when they haven't lost somebody so close and somebody so young, is you don't expect these sort of things to happen. And it was in January 2018. We had just got over Christmas, and we had a lovely Christmas, to the point where Christopher actually said, that's the best Christmas I've ever had. and it came back to like being a family, because we just spent, with having the two girls, everything was spent together with my family, with his family. And yeah, we had a lovely Christmas together. Christopher was due to go back to work on the Thursday. I think that might have been the 4th of January. And before we were to go back to school, I was actually finishing my maternity leave. I was supposed to go back on Monday the 8th of January. And we hadn't really got a night out together. But that Tuesday, the 2nd, Christopher said, we'll go out and we'll have a meal before going back to school. And I was like, perfect. And we went out that night and we had a lovely night, and we came home and Christopher started to feel unwell. And it turns out it was the flu. And we thought it was just like any normal flu. And it was the flu. But Christopher just didn't get any better. And wasn't able to go back to work. And then on the Sunday, things just got all of a sudden really Christopher wasn't well. And on the earlier hours of Monday, on the 8th of January, which was a day I was supposed to go back to work and our lives were supposed to, you know, just be normal. Christopher passed away. And I think especially because, first of all, you don't expect somebody to take a flu that we all take and pass away from it. And then I think the other thing is, you know, Christopher, I'm sure you have seen his pictures, and you know, he was 6'1", he was big, he was strong, he was healthy. And that December actually, you know, he had, you know, done so well in doing 10Ks and 5Ks, and he couldn't have been any healthier. And that's the thing, in the hospital, like, you know, we kept saying he's young, he's fit and healthy, like this can't happen. And you live in, and even though it was one day, you're sitting going, oh my God, you just hoping and praying that this can't be real and this can't be right. And it just baffles me still. It still baffles me, you know what I mean? So unexpected. And we are 17 months down the line now, and I am just, every day I ask myself, is it real? You know? Helping the girls understand what has happened, Christopher, and where their daddy is at now it's very confusing. It's confusing for me. I think for them it's maybe less confusing because they are so young, they don't fully understand. And the advice I was given was to be honest with the girls, you know, to create a little story for them about their daddy in terms of what happened first of all. So the girls know that their daddy is in heaven. We say that he's up in the sky, and I explained to them that daddy was sick and he had to go to the place to be better. And I mean, they're so young, they take it for what it is, but we talk about him every day in conversations all the time. I'm sure you probably heard that yourself. You know, Grace looks very much like Christopher, so Grace hears it quite a lot. You look like your daddy. Both of them, Beth as well, even though she was younger, they love seeing pictures of him. They are absolutely fascinated by videos, which I find quite hard, you know, to watch videos and hear his voice, but they absolutely love it, to the point where every night, and I don't push this on them, I don't try and, you know, make this something that they want to do, but every night before bed, Grace will say pictures of daddy, and we look at pictures of daddy, and I'll tell random stories, and all the family will, you know, Christopher played football, he was great at scoring goals, and so he'll always be brought into conversation through football or just silly things he used to do or say. So as a family, we are so good at keeping Christopher's name one that's talked about a lot for the girls. Pictures and videos, you see so much more, and you get to I suppose experience more of that person through that. So my Instagram is all about, I suppose, our lives since and how I'm coping, but also our lives back then and things that we used to do and things that we used to say, because as time goes on, you know, I don't know how much I'll remember of silly things, of not silly things, but of, I suppose, the things that we take for granted every day. So we do so much every day. Christopher's name's mentioned, and it will be every day, and as long as it's in my control. One of the things my family helped me do was we ran the Belfast Marathon, and that was just a few months after we lost Christopher, and it gave me a focus and it gave me something to work towards. And there was actually 340 of us ran, and I actually ran the full thing, and we raised £60,000. So I mean, in terms of that, family have been amazing in helping me create something so lovely in Christopher's memory, which was all given back to his school. You know, but as the girls get older, actually, Grace especially, they start to ask more questions. You know, it's like Grace will see girls with their daddies, or her wee friends and cousins will come in here and they'll be with their daddy, and Grace will say to me, you know, can my daddy come for dinner, mummy? And I'd be like, Grace, pet, daddy can't come for dinner. And that's hard, but I just have to be honest. I can't lie to her, do you know what I mean? So I suppose it's hard, but yeah, I just be honest and just try to just do the best that I can. In terms of what's the hardest thing about losing Christopher, I think it's a mix of the girls losing their daddy because both them and him have missed so much good things in life. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, it's hard, I think, mostly at the minute, because the girls are so young and they don't fully understand. I think the hardest part for me is when I think about what Christopher's missing, you know, because like I said before, our lives were just about family, and they were about having a family together and bringing the girls up, and all we talked about, is what we wanted for the girls, and how we would do things later in life with them and as they get older. And Christopher was already always about things like going on holidays together and making plans for fun and happy family occasions. So I think that's definitely hard to think about it from Christopher's aspect and to think about it from Christopher's end. And I think mentally that's whenever I struggle the most, whenever I think about everything that he's lost. And then I look at the girls, and you know, in 17 months Beth has lived, so Beth is 23 months actually. She's lived nearly 4 times longer without him. And Grace is coming 3, so half her life has been without him already, and they're so young. And yet any parent will know that in such a short space of time, children accomplish so much. And it's all those wee milestones that he's missing out on, and all those wee milestones that they're missing out on, not having a daddy here, and he really wanted to be here, you know? He would really want to see us. So it's a mix of that when I think about myself and the hurt I feel. You know, I can deal with my own feelings. I can, to the point I can push them to the side. You know, I don't put myself up there with Christopher and the girls because it just seems so unfair for them, you know? It's definitely, and I think, you know, as any parent will know, being a mummy or being a daddy is hard. You know, it's hard when you have somebody there to help you, and it's especially hard to do without somebody and grieve at the same time, you know. So there's so many hard things in this process. There's so many. Yeah, in terms of Father's Day, those days always feel so incredibly strange, and it's also like, it's like Christopher's birthday, when days are devoted especially to Christopher and him being a daddy, for example, like on Sunday. It's just, I think those days sometimes are the hardest days as well. But I mean, like I said about his birthday, I will try and do my best to make it a happy day for the girls, because when they grow up, I don't want them to be like, oh no, it's Father's Day, things are going to be so sad. I want them to think of their daddy and smile. I want them to always have happy associations with days like Father's Day. So we'll do something special for us. It'll be something small. I've ordered wee flowers for the graves for both of them, and I think that's good because they like taking ownership of stuff. Like, this is my daddy's flowers and these are my flowers I've given to daddy. So we done that for our wedding anniversary as well, the girls, and they took such pride in going and giving it to them. So we'll do something simple like the flowers. We'll get some nice balloons to send off to daddy in heaven, and I think we'll make some cards, and while we're making the cards, we'll talk about him and we'll tell stories and give the girls just an opportunity just to talk like we do every day. And I think we'll just stay at home. I think the hard thing about these situations are as well, on days like this, and for so many people it's a happy occasion, that when you go out and about and you see mummies and daddies with their children and celebrating, which of course is lovely to do whenever you have so many happy reasons to do so. But for other people like myself and the two girls and so many other people in this situation and different situations, it's such a hard day. And to be in public places or to be surrounded by people who, and rightly so, are so happy, you know, it's hard for you because I suppose you just think, why can't we be like that? So we'll stay at home, we'll talk about Christopher, we'll make nice memories, and we'll keep it simple. I think, you know, actually that's a question I get asked quite a lot, like over my social media, is like, what advice would you give to anybody who's going through a really difficult time right now, and maybe especially so on occasions like this. And the thing I think is most important is just to do what feels right for you. You know, I said earlier on, I said people take things, it takes people different lengths of time to be able to do things, and it's so easy to feel pressurised to kind of doing what everybody else does. So because you know somebody down the road that is going through a similar situation and they're going off with their family for a big day trip, well, is that what I should be doing as well? Like, I would say, no, definitely not. If that doesn't feel right to you, don't do it. I think trusting your instincts, knowing what's right for you and your family, and not feeling that pressure to give in to anybody else or society or what you think, or what somebody else thinks is the right thing to do. And I mean, the other thing is, there's days you think you're never going to survive, and there's days you wake up and, you know, for me, I think back to Christmas and I thought, I'm never going to get through this. I am never going to get through today, and then tomorrow's Boxing Day, and then a couple of weeks after we have the first anniversary, and I didn't think I'd get through it. Mentally it was just very hard, but you do you know what I mean? You get through these days because, I suppose because, do you know what, I used to hate this saying, but the day only lasts 24 hours, do you know what I mean? So Sunday will come, and I can't believe you, like, I'm not saying that lightly, because a day to me, if somebody had told me that a couple of months ago, I'd be sitting going, but tomorrow's the same. But when you get through incredibly tough days, like Father's Day, and you do it the way you believe that's right for you, the next day will come, and in time a little bit of relief does come, you know. So I would just say, do what's right for you and your family, and just trust yourself. Yeah.